Peace. No beat today, but I'm gonna do a review. I'm gonna do a movie review because I know a lot of y'all have been. Hold on, let me fix this camera. There you go. All right. Yeah. So like I was saying before, I'm gonna do a movie review. Because I know some of y'all been requesting me to do reviews, so I'm gonna do that. Um, the movie review I'm gonna do. If I keep doing it, I'm gonna do like movies that I like movies that that's not recent. It's more from back in the day, like the '70s and '80s and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do that because a lot of these movies don't really get they rarely get mentioned, and so I'm trying to give it bring it to light, so maybe you guys might be interested into the movie and then you might want to go look for it. So that's why I'm doing that. So without further ado, the movie I'm about to review is Maniac. This movie was released in 1980. This movie to me is one of the illest movies that I've ever seen. Horror movie wise, even movie wise, it's just so ill. It's so dope. Um, it takes place in New York City in 1980, obviously. Modern day, present day, 1980 New York. Um, it's about a guy named Frank Zito. He's a landlord for an apartment, which I'm assuming is in Queens or Brooklyn, because by the way it looks, that area. I think I know where that is. I think that's like by like Woodside or something like that. But Frank Zito was played by Joe Spinell. For those who don't know who Joe Spinell is, he played for all my Godfather fans. He played Willie Chichi, the enforcer for the Corleone family for the first two in Godfather 1 and 2, and he also played the loan shark in the first two Rockies. He played Tony Gazzo. So so now you guys know. I'm pretty sure you guys. Once I said that, you probably like, oh okay, that's that guy. Yeah. Well, I guess this is his first movie that he actually got a starring role, and so he actually wrote the movie too. So I thought it was pretty cool. But anyways, Frank Zito he plays as a tenant, like as a landlord, like I said before, and during the day, of course, and at night he's a serial killer, and most of his victims are women, and the reason why he targets women mostly is because when he was young, his mom was a prostitute, and you know she would bring men to the house and stuff like that, and he would see that all the time, and and then his mom would physically like he lived in an abused household, like like he didn't have a great mom. Like his mom would treat him like shit. You know what I mean? Like she would like lock him in the closet and stuff like that, and that messed up his mind, and because of that, it made him have a bad hatred for women, man. So that's why, and then he has no girlfriend, no kids, no friends, none of that. He's just a straight loner, and so he goes so anytime he kills his victims, the women, um, he would obviously he would stalk them and whatnot, shit that all the killers do in horror movies and whatnot. And when he kills the victims, dope kills, by the way. You would love this movie. Like if you like blood, gory shit like this, you would love this movie. But anyways, back to the story. Anytime he kills his victims, he would cut off the scalp of the victims, and like anytime he kills them, when he takes off the scalp, he would go to back to his apartment, and in his apartment, that's where he has like a whole bunch of mannequins, and anytime he picks up the mannequins, he'll put yeah, anytime he gets a scalp, he'll put it on the mannequin, and then I guess for that night or for those next couple of nights, that would be his girl. Because like I said, he has no girlfriend or none of that and stuff like that, and it's like actually have conversations with those mannequins, like as if they were like people. You know what I mean? and so like because he has no friends, so it's just like you kind of feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? It's like not, that's the one thing I like about this movie. Is like it's not like the typical horror movie where it's actually it's not one dimensional like most movies. It's like it's kind of like well rounded. You know, it's well rounded. Like you actually sympathize with the character. You know what I mean? So excuse me. So the next scene, he goes to Central Park and he sees a lady who's a photographer who's played by Caroline Monroe. Excuse me. For those who don't know who she is, she's a British actress. For more old school heads, probably know this, but yeah, she's beautiful woman. She played in a lot of '70s and '80s horror movies and sci-fi movies as well. And I guess her heydays were like the '70s and '80s and stuff like that. And I guess like from the '90s, that's when her career was kind of like dwindling, but whatever. So anyways, while she was taking pictures, um, he went up to her purse, and her purse had like her address where she lived at, and he took out something from the bag. I forgot what it was. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but he saw he saw like the address. He didn't even write it down. He just looked at it for like a couple of seconds, and he walked away. I'm like, that's how nasty he is. Like he's just so skillful. Like he's nasty like that. He just walked away. Just remember that shit, like it was nothing. And then I guess like the next scene he meets he saw the house and he went to her house and stuff like to her apartment. And it's like, oh, you love something, blah blah blah. And then they started talking and it's like, oh, how about I take you out to dinner and stuff like that. And they started dating. And while he while he's still dating her, he's still killing the women and stuff like that. And it just gets interesting. Throughout the whole movie. Yeah, man. So this movie is dope, man. Like, oh, a little tribute for you guys also. Underground hip hop legend, hip hop legend Necro. He's definitely a fan of this movie because, excuse me, he did a song called Frank Zito off his 2003 compilation album Brutality Part 1. And he also uses like two samples, like a sample of a woman saying please don't kill me, blah blah blah. And he also uses a sample like from the score from that movie too, so it kind of fits the song. Like it's dope. And he also in his 2005 Circle of Tyrants album, which is a group project, he did a song called Joe Spinell. He did the beat and everything, and that was pretty dope too. You know what I mean? So if I had to rate this movie, I give it a 10 out of 10. That's a no brainer, no pun intended. That's how ill this movie is. This movie is like one of a kind. I love it. Everything from the score, the background music for those who don't know. New York when it was grimy. It was like it was dirty. It was dangerous to be there. That's when New York was scary to live and stuff like that. This is during the Ed Koch era. This is like 1980. This was like the end of like disco and all that shit. Like that's when hip hop started like blooming, and you know what I mean. It's just like punk rock, like new wave was coming to the whole area and stuff like that. It was but it was a dope movie. It's definitely one of a kind. Like it really shows New York in its heyday and stuff like that. If you like blood, guts, all that shit, gore, just all that shit, dark music. Even the music was dope, man. It's just, I don't know, man. And this movie's a little hard to find. Um, I got this movie at a mom and pop store down in West Palm, West Palm over there, called Music, Movies and More. So cause they have a lot of good horror movies there, like a lot of rare movies that you probably won't even find at FYE. And I believe they released this movie last year on Blu-ray, so you might be able to find it at FYE. If they don't have it, you can order it over there. And if you see this, I recommend you buying this because this movie you will be entertained. I was, and this movie, from what I've heard, it caused a lot of controversy. Excuse me, because they were saying like a lot of the feminists was complaining that it was misogynistic. He only killed women and blah blah blah. I mean, which I could sort of see what they're saying, but at the same time, like, it's just a movie. Like, it's not that serious. Horror movies were made to be enjoyed. Like, you enjoy the blood and guts and the sex and the violence and all that. It's not to be taken literally. And also, another reason why this movie was caused a lot of controversy was because in this corner, I'm not even trying to look at that, but in the corner right here, like, he has like a boner in his pants and shit like that, and that caused a lot of controversy too, which is understandable. But again, this is the '80s. Back then, movies were a lot more, I guess, free. It wasn't PC like today. You know what I mean? Like today, nowadays, you can't even make a cover like that. Like that shit would get banned. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, this movie's banned in Germany and England to this day. That's how crazy this movie is. So, you know what I mean? So if you find this movie, don't hesitate to buy this because you will be entertained, like I said before. I paid maybe 19.99. A little pricey, but I think it's definitely worth the buy, definitely. So hope you enjoyed my review. Peace.